Hello there, Pursuing Freedom friends. This is your host, Erin Bradley. Thanks for tuning in today. And I am very excited to share this episode with you because over the past, I don't know, almost every month this year, I've been sharing a webinar around the proven method to grow your real estate or mortgage business without burnout, which comes down to one very simple concept: systems and scale. Because at the end of the day, if you get into this business or any business and you go 100% commission and you start throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks, eventually stuff will stick. You will end up having some clients because you're an awesome person and people love you, and you build trust and you give great customer service. Inevitably, you start having some clients. And when things start to stick, it's like you built a house on a faulty foundation, because inevitably other things start to crumble as the business starts to pick up and you have more and more on your plate, and you have less time, and then you have less energy, and then less enthusiasm, and all of a sudden you start second guessing everything. And so this is such a common epidemic in the real estate space, specifically where solopreneurs end up on this roller coaster of feast or famine. And it's not because it's the nature of the business, it's because of what's happening to your energy. And so this is the key. So we got such great feedback from the webinar. And I also realized that I didn't really mention it here on the podcast, which I'm going to do better about. But if you have not been already on my newsletter, I would highly encourage you to hop over to pursuingfreedom.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and join the newsletter so that you don't miss any upcoming webinars or events, because we've got a lot of great stuff on the horizon. But for today, I'm just going to go ahead and share this webinar with you, because at the end, I've got an invitation and a very special offer for you guys, which I guess I'll just go ahead and share right here. We have been seeing such crazy results with the members of my collective community that I decided to do two very special things this month. So number one, September is my favorite month, and it's the month of the harvest. It's also, back to school. And so I treat it as such. I treat September 1st like New Year's Day. And I think of it as a clean slate, a fresh start, and an opportunity to really get clear around what we're designing here. Like, how are you organizing a business that fuels your life? And so I get so fired up about what's to come on the horizon starting in September that I decided to create a special discount for anyone who joins the community, the collective, this month, where we get together in weekly live group coaching sessions. There is a community of additional coaches besides myself, teaching all things systems, strategy, AI, mindset, neurolinguistic programming. I mean, everything you could ever imagine that you might need to rewire the narrative and create a new vision for yourself as you step into that next level of you in your life and business. And because I love September so much, and because people are getting such incredible results, I'm offering a discounted access that you'll be grandfathered in with a $1,000 discount off of the annual 12-month membership. So instead of it being only $4,900 a year, it's only $3,900 a year if you hop over to pursuingfreedom.com/yes1000. Or you can go month to month, and it's typically $490 a month. But with the coupon code, you can save $100 a month and get in for just $390 a month. So it is a no-brainer, because everyone who joins this community has very almost instantaneous growth in their business. So the ROI far, far exceeds the investment, being less than typically the fraction of one closing commission to get access to this community of successful agents and lenders who are implementing systems and scale to create more freedom in their lives. So you can find that at pursuingfreedom.com/yes1000, or for the month to month, it's /yes100. Additionally, for those agents and lenders who are listening and you're not yet at the six-figure level, which is really what the collective is designed for, it's for those six-figure earners that are experiencing the overwhelm and burnout, that really need to fine tune and strengthen the foundation of the business to create opportunity for you to expand beyond your personal capacity. But if you're not there yet, and it sounds like where you want to go, we also created something called the Academy. So at pursuingfreedom.com/academy, you can get access to all of the resources and the downloadable tools and the recorded trainings with all the guest coaches for just $49 a month. And you do get access to me live once a month. On the first Wednesday of every month, we do a live Q&A call. So as you're going through the lessons in the self-paced style, you also get access to me once a month in live coaching. And additionally, we do a once a month networking call with everybody, the Academy, the collective, my highest level one-on-one clients, an opportunity to connect, build your national referral network, and really just learn that you're not alone. Sometimes entrepreneurship can feel really lonely, but you are definitely not alone. And anything that you are struggling with that feels personal is truly universal. So when you start hanging around people that are movers and shakers and they're becoming more and more unapologetic in designing businesses that fuel their lives in spite of the fear that typically keeps us stuck, you start to expand your own belief system, and all of a sudden your life and business expand alongside that. So I would love to be in connection with you, supporting you, and just getting to know you really so that I can give you more customized support. So check out either of those things. And as always, if you ever have questions, you can email me or DM me on Instagram at Pursuing Freedom Official. So let's jump into today's episode, and I look forward to meeting you hopefully soon. I am obsessed with lifestyle design and organizing our business again and again and again to align with the life we're living today, the stage of life. So my hope for all of us is to have the audacity to stop showing up through a filter of what we think we're supposed to be doing, or what we think we should do, or what we tell ourselves we can't do, and I could never, and I wish I could, but, and all the things, and simply say, if I could have it any way I want, how would I have it today? If you can remember the moment you decided, I'm going to forego a steady paycheck, I'm going to take this leap of faith and be 100% commission. Why did you do that? Like, what was the vision that you had in your mind around what does it mean to be self-employed? It's an interesting question, right? Because when I ask this question, I always think to myself, like, how'd that work out for you? But when we talk about like owning my time and the freedom and all the things, and then I remember a coach asking me 10 years ago, like, how's that working out for you? And I'm over here in tears. Like, he's asking me what my goals are, and I'm at complete max capacity. And I'm just like, I can't do any more. And he looks at me and he's like, Erin, you've got to do less in order to do more. How many of you, on a scale of 1 to 10, can admit that you're more capable of giving, like an emotional caretaker, giving from an empty well in the service of others, than we are in claiming the feelings of freedom that we are after? Like, we're after calm and rested and peaceful and light and energized, but how many of us sacrifice to make sure that we please and serve and take care of everyone around us? That could be our family, could be our clients, it could be our referral partners. And so in this reality, this truth that we have the ability, especially as women who have been in this industry for a long time, we've probably mastered the art of giving from an empty well, of putting on the game face. And when we're dealt a circumstance, we power through, right? This market has been hard. It's been hard for several years. And so one of the things that I've become very curious about is why and how is it possible that there are individuals in our industry, women just like us, that are operating at a very high level. Their business is thriving. Some of them have just had their best month ever, their best year ever. They've maybe doubled their business from 2024, which was also their best year ever. And it's like this tiny little microcosm in a world of most of us rating ourselves a 1 through 5 on calm, rested, peaceful, light, and energized, which means that the majority of us are out here winging it in a state of chaos, exhaustion, stress, overwhelm, burnout, all in the service of not letting anyone else down, but depleted from within. This has become my life's work and my mission to explore this, because I remember when I took the leap of faith to become 100% commission in 2007 and fell flat on my face, that I rode this roller coaster for years of broke to burnout, feast or famine. And I always wondered, where does the freedom live? Is it a destination? Do I have to earn the right for peace, calm, rested, all the things? Or is it like someone's going to show up on my doorstep and hand it to me? Or do I claim it at some point? And so my passion is helping women like you and men claim it, now. Because what I have learned is that when we prioritize how we feel and we make decisions from that place of clarity, peace, calm, ease, excited, energized, all the things, it unlocks a portal that creates a magnet for opportunities to find us. And there's only a small percentage of people in the industry that are doing this work, that are willing to slow down, to evaluate. Am I tired of treading water? Am I willing to get on the bow of the ship and evaluate the direction I go from here? Knowing what I know now with all the relationships, all the experience, all the skills, I get to decide. I don't have to be a victim to my own success. I don't have to be a victim to the market. I'm not a martyr. I am a human being who's here for a very short amount of time, and I want to live and feel the way I imagined when I took this leap of faith, however many years ago. And what it requires of us is the willingness. It's not the ability. It's not whether you can. It's whether you are willing to be your most unfiltered, bold, radiant, audacious self, to say enough is enough. I'm going to design the future of my business as something that I'm excited to run towards, and not something that I'm sucking it up and I'm settling and I'm waiting for the market to change to give me permission to have the freedom that I crave. The freedom is within us. Everything we're after is right inside of us. So I want to start with that, because I get fired up about this, because I too played the victim for a very long time. So what I know to be true now, through the community that I will share with you at the end, to continue the conversation, to get in the room with others that have decided to be unapologetic, that have decided to show up as their unfiltered, brightest light version of themselves, and have become this radiant magnet to opportunities, like seemingly overnight. I'm talking agents that go from 0 under contract to closing 7 in 1 month in as little as 6 weeks of being a part of the energy that is contagious, the momentum that is magnetic. Okay. We have access to this, each and every one of us. It starts with a decision. So my ask for you today is, don't be passive here. Don't be here to be an inspiration junkie who gets one more idea and then you go back to making excuses for why you keep settling for the opposite of the feelings of freedom, peace, calm, rested, light, energized. That actually is the compass. If you're willing to choose you starting right now and let joy be your compass, you can also tap into the actual limitless, infinite resources that are available, the relationships that are popping into your life seemingly out of the blue, and the opportunities and the business and the financial and all the things. And none of it comes from waiting for the external world to deliver the circumstances that we need for us to feel fulfilled. We claim it. So I am going to give you some strategies that I hope by the end of our time together, I'm just going to leave you shifting what you believe to be possible right now and what you are willing to do about your new knowing. Because from here, literally the sky opens and everything becomes possible. And it's not a one size fits all. This is not your typical sales training that's going to tell you how many calls you should be making. I just need to make more calls. I just need to connect with my database. I just need to fill in the blanks. Does that feel aligned? Does that feel energized? Does that feel fun or expansive? Or does that feel heavy, dreadful, resistant, contraction, fear, scarcity, uncertainty, self-doubt? People pleasing, should, have to, is not the compass. It's joy and want to that is the compass. And when you get clear on what that means for you, the decisions that follow in your business become absolutely crystal clear, and there is no gray area. So I want to invite you to tap into something that is true for all of us. I want you to acknowledge the fact that each and every one of us could go back to your 20-year-old self. And I want you to ask yourself, did she have any clue what you were about to go on to experience or create in your life? Now, this can mean becoming a parent or a grandparent. It could be your business, entrepreneurship, financial success. It could be physical. Maybe you've run a marathon or climbed a mountain or done a bike race. Did your 20-year-old self have any clue what you would go on to do? Could she possibly believe your power, your capacity? No way, right? In some area of your life, you have exceeded the expectations of your younger self. So if you've already exceeded the expectations of your younger self, meaning you've blown your own mind, you could go back to her and she'd be like, oh my God, no freaking way. You're going to go on to do that? That's amazing. That's incredible, right? which means we have no clue what we're capable of. Each of us is standing on the leading edge of expansion, some growth. You know you're meant for more. And I'm not talking about more money. Money's just the byproduct of your energy, your contribution. Money is literally just energy in motion. You can plug into money like Wi-Fi. You can find ways to make money anywhere. What is dim is not your capacity to receive, it's your light. It's the energy. When I start my day by saying, I know what I need to do, but I'm not in the mood, I'm overwhelmed, I'm inconsistent, I beat myself up, I didn't get it done, I suck, all these things. What are we doing to the dimmer switch of the light within us? We're pushing down on it. When we feel uncertainty, overwhelm, exhaustion, frustration, is the light ignited or is it extinguished? It's extinguished, right? So the only thing standing between us and true expansion and fulfillment and accessing freedom, the only thing standing between us and that reality is our energy and enthusiasm. And when life deals us a blow, which by the way, there's no way in hell that the market is the only blow you've received in your lifetime. We've experienced loss, we've been hurt, we've been through trauma, and all these things that happen, we can't predict, we can't control, we can't prevent. It's life happening all the time. So life isn't going to slow down for us. Life's not going to get easier. We get easier. We lighten up. And I mean literally turn the light on so we find access to the control switch. What does joy mean for you? What is the compass? And for some, that's a trigger word because joy has been suffocated for so long since your childhood, you don't even remember what it is. But joy is the compass. This is how we build a business plan around people that we enjoy, people that energize us. And then we get creative on ways to provide value to them in such a way that we create a ripple effect so that our impact, our name shows up in conversation at the dinner table we can't see, or at the office we can't see, or on the sidelines. That's how we create a business plan. The problem is, you guys have been doing this for so long, chances are you keep shooting all over yourself about what you think you should be doing, what you have to do, what you tell your loved ones, I have to, I have to, I have to. Says who? We all know that self-employment was not the easy route. If we wanted a consistent paycheck, we can go get one. We're all qualified. We'll go get a job anywhere. So we took the leap of faith to be self-employed because we wanted to be our own boss and we wanted the freedom. So are you willing to claim it now? You get to write a new script every time. And the reason I brought up your 20-year-old self is because you've had chapters in your life. There have been moments where you've made a decision, even with fear coming along for the ride, you've made a decision, you've taken a leap, you've quit a job, you've broken up with somebody, you've said yes to you. So you have it within you to do it. There is nothing stopping us. And I'm telling you this because my community inside of Pursuing Freedom is literally like this freaky bubble of abundance. The shit that's going on is insane. I'm sorry for cursing, but I get so fired up because if I could open the world to see what is possible with a little shift from within by turning that light on, by saying, I'm done tolerating, I'm done making excuses, and I'm done waiting. Life is too short, and I'm going to claim my feelings of peace, ease, joy, and I'm going to let that be my compass. And it's going to be different for each of you because you've all lived life. And guess what? The season of life you're in, the stages of life you've navigated, the tragedies, the tremendous, wonderful things that have happened in your life, all make you right now uniquely equipped to be of value to somebody else. And your value is your currency. Your business, your volume, the money that comes to you with ease from expected and unexpected sources is nothing more than the byproduct of you turning that light on again and showing up as your unique, authentic self, unfiltered, radiant, and bold, and with purpose and intention. And all we need to do is recognize that there's a limit to your time, energy, and enthusiasm. So the goal today is to help you rethink the future of your business. And my ask is to listen to the yeah, but. You're going to hear things that are going to trigger you because you're going to have deeply rooted programming that stems from outdated fears that showed up along the journey to protect you at some point that are not here to serve you right now. You're going to hear, yeah, but. Your brain is going to say, I can't. And listen, when you hear it, write it down. I want you to get intimate with it because whatever follows, I can't because, is fear. That's it. And a lot of it is so deeply embedded from the stories that we've been told by others, from how we compare ourselves to what other people are doing. All the things and all the life experiences have created a unique internal programming for each of us that is different. And we all have it. and there's no judgment. We all play small because of fear. What if? What if it goes wrong? What's it going to cost me? What if I fail? What if it's amazing? What if it's awesome? What if we have no clue what we're capable of because we've already proven our younger self wrong? What if we're on the leading edge of some massive expansion, some incredible exponential growth, and the only thing standing between us and saying yes to it is our fear? Isn't that so silly? But our fear determines our decisions all the time. Wherever you are in anything I've said, I just want you to know I can relate. I'm going to share a couple things for you to think about. And then I'm going to share an invitation for us to continue this conversation. You're going to hear your mind. It's going to start to trigger you, but your heart is going to feel something. It's going to feel expansion. And from there, you can do what you want with that. You can take that and say, yes, I'm going to say yes to life. I'm going to say yes to being bold, radiant, and unfiltered. And I'm done playing small. And I don't really care what the market's doing because I can't control it anyway. I'm ready to start making some decisions because I want to live my fullest self now because I don't know how much time I've got. And I don't mean to be cheesy, but I use it's all around me. If not now, when? And you'll hear it come up in some of the decisions I've made in my journey. But that actually stems from the fact that I lost 5 of my closest friends between the ages of like 5th grade and 22 years old. So I learned about loss very early. And I've had a lot of loss, sudden, unexpected loss since, just in the last few years. It's a compass. It's the truth. We don't know how much time we've got. So in some capacity, we are always tolerating less than the fullness of who we are and what we desire. And it's always going to feel uncomfortable and it's always going to feel scary because we're expanding and we're ascending. We're going up the levels, right? And when you reach your next level self, your 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, she's going to be unwilling to accommodate things that you were willing to tolerate at your lower levels. And the question is, which way do you want to go? There's only one option. You either act like her or you act like your old self who's been staying stuck in fear and self-doubt and uncertainty. So just practice. What would she do every time? What would she do in this situation? Because the fear is going to be there no matter what. Pursuing Freedom is the name of my book and my podcast and my business. And the reason for that is that I took the leap to go 100% commission on the mortgage side of the industry in 2007. And I fell flat on my face because honestly, I hate sales. I still do to this day. I was terrified of being seen as salesy. I hated all the antiquated sales tactics. And as a result, I found myself tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. And it wasn't until 4 years later, 2011, well, 3 years later, someone gave me the book, The Go-Giver. It completely changed my life, changed the trajectory of my life. And the concept of the Go-Giver is that the goal is to give value above and beyond what you get paid to do. So as a business model, I decided to create a strategy to get curious. And how can I be a resource? And that led me to develop a strategy that I later started teaching to real estate agents. And as a result, my business more than doubled in 2012. So all of a sudden, I'm making more money than I ever expected and I'm drowning. Have you ever experienced overwhelm in your journey in this industry? So for the second time in my career, I came home to my husband and said, I just don't think I'm cut out for this. I didn't feel cut out for it when I was trying to fit the mold of being this like awkward, salesy dude, if I'm honest. And I also didn't feel like this was what I was after. Remember we said success, we defined it as freedom. We were all after freedom and we described that as calm and rested and peaceful. I was not calm, rested, or peaceful doing that kind of volume pregnant with my second child. And so I thought to myself, why would I stay in this business? My first thought was quit. This is not what I signed up for. This is not freedom. Second, I'm going to shrink. I'll try to do less. And do you know why we know that's not going to work? Because as human beings, we are here to expand. How do you know? Because every time you've ever achieved a goal that you set for yourself, how long did you celebrate before you had a new desire? How much have you already accomplished in your life and how many new desires do you have right now? There's nothing to judge. We don't resist expansion. It's part of the human experience. It's what makes life fun. And so the only alternative was to scale. And so somebody said, you need to get some help. And I decided going into 2014, enough is enough. This was my point of no return. So we've all experienced those moments that are like, this is my point of no return. There is no turning back now. I can't unknow what I know. I can't unsee this. That's what I hope someday, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you will remember about this little sliver of time in your life that you've chosen to give yourself, to ask yourself, what are you still tolerating? Where are you saying in your business, I have to, I should? Because you became the boss for a reason. And if you've lost sight of the fact that you have access to the driver's seat, but you've been a passenger, a victim, a martyr for so long, you forgot, and chaos became normal and fear became home base, you get to grab the wheel today and you get to design where you go from here, knowing what you know now. Okay, guys, that was a lot. Hopefully, you are feeling a little bit inspired and maybe called to being more than just an inspiration junkie. Maybe you're ready to be an action junkie. Because here's the thing, guys, when we feel inspired, but we don't take action, we're essentially accepting the reality that we're currently settling for. And one of the things we talk about a lot inside of my community is that none of us are a victim to the reality that we are accepting. So, if nothing changes and it's a year from now, what's going on in your life and business? How have things improved? How are things still the same? And then what's the worst case scenario of betting on you and getting in the room with others that are making the decisions to open up the space in their lives and business to design something that is so alive, so energized, and so perfectly aligned with who you are? And we build the business of you, your personal brand, your relationships, your energy, your interests. It's not a one size fits all. And that's why it's hard to just go to a sales training and then change our entire reality, because all of us are navigating the outdated programming, the fears, the limiting beliefs that keep replaying in our mind. And in essence, we're allowing our mind, our fears, to determine our reality and dictate the decisions we make or we don't make. But at the end of the day, every single one of us has experienced fear in our lifetime, and we've made decisions in spite of it. You probably broke up with that boyfriend or girlfriend at one point because you realized this is no longer a fit for me. Or maybe you quit that job because you couldn't tolerate the manager anymore. But there's something in your life right now that you are tolerating, and specifically in your business. And the question is, when is your point of no return? When are you going to wake up and say, enough is enough? This is not what I signed up for. I don't feel free when I'm struggling financially, and I don't feel free when I'm a workaholic tethered to my phone 24/7, 365 days a year. So where does the freedom lie? It lies on the other side of the decisions we make when we bet on ourselves, when we invest in ourselves and in our businesses, and when we hang around others that are doing so. So again, I'd love to invite you to connect with us inside of the collective. If you are a six-figure earner who has been feeling exhausted, maybe you feel like you've lost your spark, you've lost your mojo, this is the place for you, because we help you reignite that flame and create exponential growth. And the results are astounding. We're seeing people come into the community, and within 6 to 8 weeks, they're closing 6 transactions a month as a real estate agent or 10 transactions a month as a mortgage lender. And it is just so fun. And this energy is contagious. So if you want to get in the room and hang out with us and transform your own life and business, please hop over to pursuingfreedom.com/yes1000 or /yes100. And if you want to be there, but you're not quite ready, jump into the academy. It's a great place to start. Pursuingfreedom.com/academy. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I want to hold your hands on this journey and help you design a business you love so you can build that life you don't need a vacation from. As always, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next time.